Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee, and this is Randy, and we're here at Frederick County Animal Control and Adoption Center with some adoptable pets for you to view, and hopefully we'll make some matches today. Our first guest is Bugsy, and Bugsy is a brown tabby kitten. He's only about 3 months old, and he came to us with 2 siblings. Is that right? He has 2 siblings in there?
One back there.
Oh, 1. Okay, so, and he was in foster care with his litter mates. And they're shy, so we put them in foster care so they could get used to being handled. And interestingly, Bugsy doesn't have a tail. He is what we call a bobtail. It's a normal genetic trait that cats can inherit, just like extra toes and their coloring. And Bugsy is available for adoption. And he, as I said, they were shy. This is all he can handle of the TV experience for right now. And he is a sign of things to come, because this is the time of year when we start to see the first adoptable kittens of the season. And kittens will now be born at an alarming rate for us, because we get about 1,000 kittens in the shelter between April and October. And we are not able to find homes for them all without the help of foster care and rescue groups. And it really is a task that we know every year is coming, and we gear up for every year. So if you have been thinking about getting a kitten, now would be the time to plan, come into the shelter, get ready, because during the time that we have the peak of kitten season, every cat cage in the shelter is full. We don't have enough space for them all, and we really would like to get the word out that the abundance of kittens is coming. So share with anyone who's been thinking of getting a kitten that the shelter is a great place to get one, because we check them for leukemia, start them on their shots, treat them with worm medicine and parasite medicine, and it's really a great deal. But Bugsy is done. So we will be back with another guest in just a moment. Kitty, 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 kitty. And our next guest, for a change of pace, is Romeo. Romeo is a 3 to 4 year old adult neutered male gray tabby. And I guess I should say, since you guys just witnessed our little kitten capture, is that all of the cats that we show you on TV are perfectly free to get down anytime they want to. Randy doesn't let them because he entertains them, occupies them, makes them comfortable. But it is very telling that the cats that are on the TV show handle all of this so well and don't try to escape like that little kitten, which is perfectly normal. When cats are in a situation that's frightening to them, a new place, they are perfectly capable of defending themselves and extracting themselves from the situation. So when we do have cats that comfortably sit with Randy and deal with the whole TV environment very well, it's just a testament to their personality, that they're used to people, they've been handled by people, they take a lot of things in stride. And obviously it's also Randy's skill. He's used to doing this. He knows how cats like to be handled, dogs as well. And he can use that knowledge to make them as relaxed as possible in a stressful situation. And as you can see, some cats, like Romeo, don't find this the least bit daunting. So we have color-coded Romeo as blue, and that means he's a lap cat, used to handling, lets us trim his nails, all kinds of things. So he's going to make someone a lovely pet. And we don't know a lot about his past, other than clearly he likes people. He was neutered, so he was someone's pet. But we do pass on to you everything that we can possibly find out about them. So if you are considering adopting a pet, you can come by the shelter and just peruse through the book of paperwork we have on each of the animals and see if anything jumps out at you. whether animals have a past where they lived with kids, lived with dogs, lived indoor, outdoor, whatever it is that might make them a good match for you is available to you on paperwork. But of course, the most important thing is to come in and spend time with them. See if they like you, see if you like them, see what kind of chemistry and match there is, and then make a choice. So in the case that you might not be interested in adopting yourself, you can still help us out because we always have pets available. If you share his picture on Facebook, or if you share a link to petfinder.com with his profile, then it helps get the word out what animals are here and helps us make those perfect matches. So if you think Romeo would make a good match for someone that you know, please pass his information along. We are back with Tippy, and Tippy is a female brown tabby with a little bit of tortoiseshell mix in. We call her color Torby, not important, but it does help us tell the cats apart when we're talking about them and need to find them and direct people to them. She's making biscuits over here, so she is quite affectionate and sweet. She is only 11 months old, but she's really petite for that age, so I think she's always going to stay kind of a tiny cat. We are interested in finding her a home quickly because, as I've said about the new kittens coming in this spring, it'll make it harder for her to find a home because she'll be in that in-between age. People who want kittens will want the tiny ones, and people who want to forego kittenhood and take an adult cat are going to go for the fully mature cats. It'll leave her kind of in limbo. But hopefully you can see how sweet and affectionate she is. And so this TV opportunity for her might do her some good so that people can get to see how she is and what she's like, so someone will find her a good match and want to come in and meet her and maybe adopt her. So one of the things that we offer at the animal shelter, if you are interested, is if you decide that you'd like to get 2 cats, we offer a $20 discount on the adoption of the second cat. If you adopt a cat that is over 5 years old, you get an additional $20 off. And should you decide to adopt a cat that's over 10 years old, you get another $20 off. So we really do try to make it easy for you. The adoption fee is much less than the amount of veterinary care that they've already received when you adopt them. And of course, we give you paperwork with documentation of all of that to share with your vet so you can get started on a future of preventive medicine. If you think that Tippy would make a nice match for you or someone that you know, come by the shelter meter or pass her information around. You're making biscuits. You're a good kitty. We are back with Dusty, and Dusty is a solid gray domestic short hair male 6-month-old kitten, and he is also available for adoption. And one of the things to think about if you're going to get a 6-month-old kitten, first of all, he is about half the size he will be as an adult, so you have to consider that he's cute now, but he's going to get bigger and stronger. Also, in the next 6 months, he's going to need a lot to do. So it's going to be important to kitten-proof your house. One of the things that kittens are often interested in are earphone cords from iPods. They are interested in ribbons, which they shouldn't get a hold of because they can swallow. Strings and yarn has to be kept away from them unless you are supervising them. And when you first take a kitten home, we recommend that you put the kitten in the bathroom for a couple of days at least, if not for a whole week or more. And the reason that we recommend that is because they, a little white spot, is that they are so curious. So we want them to have a chance to be in a small space where they get bonded to you by you being the most interesting, frequent, comforting, wonderful thing that they see in their new environment. Once you have that attachment with them, then you can allow them the expanse of your home little by little so that they will come to you if they get startled or scared, or you can encourage them to come to you Unlike the first little kitten today with Randy and I, when you need to return them to the bathroom or to check and make sure they're not hurt or just interact with them at all. And a lot of times people will say, oh my gosh, he just came from the shelter. I don't want to put him in the bathroom. That seems mean. Because cats are not people, they don't necessarily want wide open spaces like many people do. They want a small, safe territory that they can control. And by offering them that in the form of a bathroom, you give them exactly what they need to feel confident and then expand their horizons. It is really important for cats to be bonded to you before they are loose in the house, because if they don't think of you as their anchor, their base, the go-to for when things get hard, what happens is people take a tiny kitten into their house, let them go, and then can't find them for hours and hours. So we want to avoid that so that you'll have a positive experience and the cat will have a great experience and be kept safe in a new place. So if you think you are up for the challenge of a little kitten, then we would love to meet you and love you to meet our cats. So please come to the shelter at 1832 Rosemont and see who's here. We are back with Tabitha, a beautiful dark tabby, and I was surprised today that we had 3 cats in a row that have dark caramel colored eyes. It's not the most common cat eye color, and it's very pretty. These 3 kittens, as far as I know, were unrelated, but they do have beautiful markings. And Tabitha is also about 6 months old, and so just like Dusty, she's going to need to have some attention paid to her curiosity for the next 6 months until she is can be safely left home alone to get into things. And it is the time of year when people start thinking about getting a pet for the family, maybe when school is out or maybe over spring break. And while we do encourage people to get a pet when you're going to be home and have a flexible schedule, also think about whether you're planning a vacation away from home, not the perfect time to get a new family member. So if you are going to be free over your spring break or the Easter weekend or something like that, now would be the time to think about what you need to buy, how you need to set up for a cat, because as I mentioned, the bathroom or a laundry room is a great idea for introducing them to your household. But what supplies do you need if you get a cat? Pretty simple. You need a kitty litter pan and some cat food and some kitty litter. That is pretty simple. You also need a vet that you can call. Now, the other things that people get are all optional, because most kittens will play with a little piece of torn up, balled up paper. So you don't need to spend a lot of money on expensive toys. You don't need to do much in the way of remodeling. You just need to use a room that's already there. But one of the things people should think about is, what are the cats going to scratch on? Because declawing a cat is very similar to removing the teeth of a dog. It is taking one of the body parts that they're born with and removing it for the convenience of the owner rather than training. And while that sounds harsh, because everyone will say, oh my gosh, I'd never take the teeth out of a dog. But for some reason, culturally, we are okay with removing the toes of a cat. So interestingly, however that evolved, that is something that is unfortunately commonly done. What is easier is to teach the cat from the time that you bring them home that scratching your belongings is not something that you want them to do. So if you think that Tabitha would be welcome in your home, then please come by the shelter and meet her. If you come on a Wednesday afternoon, you can meet Randy, the cat wrangler, who has really been put to the test today with the cats that we've brought to you. We're going to take a short break so that we can bring you some more adoptable pets from Frederick County Animal Control, and I hope you'll stay with us.
Need an idea for your child's birthday party? Look no further. At the Middletown Rec Center, we have all your birthday party needs. We have a full-size gymnasium, our large rec room, sports equipment, and many birthday party theme ideas. Each party includes crafts, games, and a story. Please call 301-600-1646 for more information.
Welcome back. We are back with Major, and Major is a Dane or Pit Bull type mix that is about 5 or 6 years old, and he was primarily an outside dog. And so he's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us to sell to someone, which there really is no reason for. It's just that dogs over 5 years old have a harder time getting adopted. And dogs that have not lived indoors just need to learn stuff. They're usually very easy to house train because they already prefer to use grass and to go to the bathroom outside. But there are things he won't know, like he's not going to know about stairways. He might not know about sounds that the TV makes. So there are just going to be things that someone has to teach him. He already sits when you ask him to, but as you can see, he's not used to, you know, sitting on furniture or to being in an enclosed space. There are rabbits and guinea pigs over there that he definitely wants to get. So we are looking for somebody who's dog savvy, someone who has experience and can motivate this guy and bond with this guy, so that he will have a reason to trust people and enjoy the finer things in life that he has not yet experienced. If you think that Major would make a good addition to your family, or if you're a dog experienced person who thinks he's a lovely, smart dog and would like to help him to the next level of his life, then please let us know, and we'll talk to you about everything that we know about him. You are a handsome dog. We are back with Lady, and Lady is a German pinscher who is watching her figure now. She came to us, the animal shelter, several months back, and she was underweight, and she was adopted, and was obviously very interested in food because of her past experience, and she's overeaten now. So we're going to have to help her out with that so she can be at her optimal weight, and then it'll be better for her health. Dogs do not have problems with heart disease and occluded arteries the way that humans do. However, arthritis and possibly diabetes are at greater risk if she stays overweight. So we're going to help her with that, and also her next home will. But she's a delightful dog that has a lot of manners, a lot to offer. She's very pretty. One of the things that is true of her is nationally, 1 in 5 dogs that is adopted from a shelter ends up returned to the same shelter or another shelter. At this shelter, we're very lucky to have far less than 10% of our animals returned. However, that doesn't mean that we don't experience it, and it's always a disappointment when it happens. It can be for any of the same reasons that dogs end up here in the first place. For example, someone loses their home, a family member passes away. There are a lot of reasons that dogs can end up in shelters. And so Lady, since she's been here before and then was returned to us, we know a lot about. So when you come in to meet her, we will share everything we know about her with you. And hopefully we can find a match for her that will be lasting this time. She's quite a lovely dog, and as you can see, she has a lot of skills. So she sits when you ask her to. She already knows how to walk on a leash. She enjoys the company of people, and she wants to be someone's pet. So she's going to be pretty easy to adopt and easy to convince someone that she'll make a great pet, because, you know, just look at her. She won't take very much work on your part. Obviously, because she came to us first emaciated, she does beg for food. So you will have to steel your heart a little bit to get her trim, and we can help you out with a bunch of tips about that. There are a couple of pet stores in the area that support the shelter, but that also offer optimal food recipes to get her back in shape, and they will be happy to help you out as well. If you think that Lady would make a good match for you, and I can't imagine she wouldn't make a good match for anybody looking for a dog, then please come to the shelter and meet her. She's a lovely girl. We are back with Midnight, and Midnight is a Labrador Retriever, probably a Pit Bull Terrier mix, and she is very young, and she is one of our project dogs. Because she's a baby and because she's very active, she is entered in our work in progress group, which is a group of 5 to 7 volunteers that come in several days a week, and they work with our more rambunctious young dogs on things just like this, on sitting when they're asked to, on not pulling on the leash so much, on not jumping up as much. And it really makes a difference because these are dogs that, as you can see, love people, want to be with people. And Midnight was given up because the people who had her had 2 dogs and their landlord said she had to go. So it could be for several reasons. It could be that 2 dogs was not allowed, but it could also be a lot of landlords are worried about any dog that looks like it might be mixed with pit bull because there was a court ruling that said landlords could be liable for what tenants' dogs do. Luckily, the Maryland state legislature is changing that this session. They have proposed 2 bills, one that will remove the liability for third parties and another that will make sure that insurance companies cannot use the breed of a dog against homeowners or renters. So that means in the future, it'll be easier to have a dog not discriminated on based on the dog's appearance. So especially in the case of Midnight, we have no way of knowing if she's part pit bull. You could do a DNA test to be sure, but what researchers have found out is when they DNA test dogs, it's very uncommon that a mixed breed dog has exactly the breeds that experts guess they have by looking at them. So in Midnight's case, she's excelling with her training. She is learning because she likes people so much. She's learning that what people like is not to be jumped on and not to be pulled around the backyard. And, you know, puppies don't know that. So someone has to tell them that these are the things you can do to get attention and these are the things that will not work. One of the things that pet owners do by accident is when their puppy finally takes a bone, goes off in the corner to chew it, is they're so relieved that the puppy is occupied that they don't disturb the puppy. They leave her alone. Well, what that teaches the puppy is when you want your people to like you, don't go off in the corner and be quiet because they'll just ignore that. So we want to make sure that we teach her when you go off and lie down and be quiet, you can get attention and affection and treats, and that in addition to that, there are things you can do when we ask you that will get you rewards. So she is up to the task and learning a lot while she's been here. If you think you are up to the task of raising a puppy like Midnight who loves everyone but needs a lot of attention, then please come and meet her. She's beautiful and she's friendly and sweet, and she could pretty much do anything you need her to do. She just needs to be shown how. Our next guest is Milo, and Milo is a tan and white guinea pig. He is about 2 years old, and he came to us from a family that owned him and another little guinea pig, Otis. And Otis and Milo lived together in their former home. And when they came here, as is common with guinea pigs, they're both intact males and living in a small space like this in a new place. They got in a fight, nobody got hurt, so we gave them each their own apartment, and they are much happier this way. One of the things, I talked with Small Angels Animal Rescue yesterday to get some more information on guinea pig behavior. And what I was told is that guinea pigs, whether neutered or not, can be territorial, especially when they're under pressure. So it is normal for guinea pigs like Milo and Otis, who liked each other just fine in the environment in which they were comfortable, to be a little stressed out, come into the shelter, and need more space. So one of the things that they told us is that while guinea pigs do prefer to live with roommates, they're very social and they like to live with other guinea pigs, they need a cage much bigger than this if 2 guinea pigs are to share it. So what a lot of people do when they adopt guinea pigs is they're not very agile, so they build them something with low walls that's protected from other pets, that has a lot of floor space so that the guinea pigs can work out their space within their enclosure so that they can have the compatibility of each other when they want to, and then they can move away from each other when they don't want to. So Milo, being 2 years old and being used to being handled, would make a good child's pet because he already knows that people aren't dangerous and he can be lifted out of the cage and handled. Sometimes we receive guinea pigs that are not used to being handled, and because they're such shy little animals, if they're not used to it, we would show you how to get them used to climbing onto a towel and then being lifted by the towel, and then once they're used to that, you can use your hands, because all animals can bite. It's just that guinea pigs are so curious and friendly that they rarely do. If you are interested in getting a guinea pig like Milo, or even in taking Milo and Otis and giving them the appropriate size cage so they can be together, then we will talk to you about that at the shelter. We are back with Scrubby Senior, and Scrubby Senior is a 1.5-year-old guinea pig. He is also used to being handled and has wiry hair, so he's really cute guinea pig and interesting. Like when you pet him, he really does feel like a little scrub brush. And he is chocolate brown and white, as you can plainly see. And one of the things about guinea pigs that makes them a nice pet is because they're not very agile, they are easy to handle, but also means that you don't have to walk them on a harness, you don't have to build platforms and stairs and fun things for them to do in their cage like you do for a rabbit. It's much easier to entertain a guinea pig. They need some bedding. We recommend Carefresh, which is recycled newspaper. And then also they need a place to hide because they're shy. So these little houses make a nice place for them to hide, but you can build them something. They like to chew cardboard. They eat hay. One of the things people rarely know about the fiber-eating animals, which would be rabbits, horses, guinea pigs, is that they really do eat grass, which means it's almost free to feed them, but you have to make sure that you're giving them nutritious grass. It doesn't mean lawn clippings because that's coated with oil from your lawnmower, and usually Kentucky bluegrass is not the best kind of grass for nutrition. But orchard grass mix or Timothy hay makes great food for guinea pigs. They also can eat concentrated hay pellets in the winter when grass isn't available, and the hay pellets for guinea pigs are specifically fortified with vitamin C. They have a high need for vitamin C, so they can't just eat rabbit pellets or food that's made for other animals. So as with any pet, there's a little bit of research to be done to make sure you're giving them the right thing and offering them what they need. And as you can see, Scrubby Senior is quite happy to sit in Randy's lap and eat a couple carrots and enjoy his life. One thing about guinea pigs that is different from mice and rats, which people really need to know, is that mice and rats can eat starch and sugar. Guinea pigs absolutely cannot. They need a high fiber, moderate protein diet, so absolutely no cake and cookies for guinea pigs. No matter how much they might whistle differently to you, it's very important for their health that they stay off sugar. So if you think that Scrubby Senior would make a good addition to your family, let us know. And if you have seen any animals on Pet Pals today that might make a good match for someone you know, please pass the link at the bottom of your screen around to people that you know. Maybe it will inspire someone to adopt, volunteer, or donate. Or go to petfinder.com, find a picture of a matching pet, and place it on your Facebook page. Anything you can do to help us get the word out is a big help. One of the things that we do need from at the animal shelter, if you have them lying around your house, is we have a number of large dogs in the shelter right now, and we don't have enough toys for big dogs, indestructible rubber toys and rope toys. So if you have some extras, please drop them off on Rosemont Avenue at the shelter. We will put them to good use. Thank you for joining us on Pet Pals, and I hope we see you next time.